Yup. It's time. Now, this video will contain manga spoilers for One Piece, so if you're not reading the manga, please back out. Now, as one of the many people that has predicted that the Gorosei would be fighters in the One Piece series, I felt like it was only right that I do this video. Now, I know their abilities aren't fully fleshed out, but we do know enough to at least give a rough estimate of these rankings. A lot of y'all out there think they're weak. I mean, some of them are dragon victims, but we'll get to that later. But I actually believe they are much stronger than what it seems. Because we have to remember, they tanked Sabo's Hiken fire attack with no difficulty whatsoever. They can regenerate and make a full 100% recovery at ease, and they can even use telepathy to communicate with each other. Plus, let's not forget, they can go hybrid form like how Kaido did on the roof. All of them are mythical Zoan users, and they're fully awakened. And if we talk about haki, just upon transformation alone, the magic circles are popping up. Haki is popping out, going crazy everywhere, just like Shanks' Wi-Fi haki on Admiral Aramaki. This is how crazy it's looking right now. So without further ado, let's get started with number 5. Currently at number 5 for the weakest member in the Gorosei, I have Saint Shepherd Jupiter. Now let's not get it twisted. I believe the Gorosei are all strong. So me saying that number 5 is the weakest of the 5 does not mean that Saint Jupiter can't go crazy. Now we know he's a head of agriculture. He does obviously have a lot of influence within the world, but when you're looking at his devil fruit ability, this is where he really is threatening. His mythical Zoan devil fruit is basically a sandworm from Dune, but times 10. Not only can he dig through the earth, not only does he have incredible haki, but he's able to literally use the vacuum inhalation technique that we see from Kirby in video games. He can literally just inhale and absorb everything. I mean, we have to understand the gravity of this vacuum type technique, because there are giants on Egghead as we speak, and he's literally using this technique to draw them in. But the reason why I have him at number 5 is just because I feel like there's a little bit more we need to see, because right now, out of all the other Gorosei members, it does not look like Saint Jupiter is the most mobile, and we still have to wait for some further haki confirmations. We know that he has incredible haki just because of the magic circles and the haki popping out everywhere, but I want to see more applications of it. He's still incredibly formidable though, because again, he had giants scrambling. Coming in at number 4, I'm going with Saint Marcus Mars. Now this is the head of environment. He is also incredibly powerful because we know he has the Itsumade devil fruit ability. It's basically a bird fused with a snake. I mean, he had Rob Lucci scared for his life. He had the haki going crazy everywhere, because we have to remember, there was a moment in time in Wano when Shanks was miles away, but he just knew that Admiral Aramaki was causing a ruckus, and he said, you know what? Let me just give him a little taste of what Conqueror's haki feels like coming from me. Let me just do a little bit of Wi-Fi haki, and had Green Bull running for his life. Jinbei even felt Shanks haki from across the way and said, dang, I didn't know Shanks was like this. This is ridiculous. And he had the exact same reaction for Marcus Mars Conqueror's haki. Let me repeat, Jinbei had the same reaction to Marcus Mars Conqueror's haki as he did Shanks. That is a crazy, crazy feat. There's no way he's at the bottom of the Gorosei totem pole. He is elite just off of that alone. But Marcus Mars can also fly, and he also has the ability to shoot out large energy beams. Large enough to destroy Vegapunk's entire lab, pretty much. Currently, we know that he has Conquerors and Observation confirmed. I believe he also has access to armament, but we have to wait to see it really be confirmed within the series, but he is looking dangerous right now. He definitely has a lot more in his bag than Saint Jupiter thus far, but we still need to see a little bit more. Now, coming in at number 3, this might be the most controversial pick, but I feel like this is the perfect place to put him. I'm going with Saint Jaygarcia Saturn. Now, I know the optics of Saint Saturn are not the greatest right now, based on how people have been initially perceiving his power level. Saturn is the leader of science and defense, and he's a Gorosei member that we've seen the most in combat. He's given us the most to work with in this type of video. But a lot of the instances where we see Saturn, it looks like a lot of characters that shouldn't have any business damaging him are damaging him, and it's making people think that the Gorosei as a whole are weak because of how damaged Saturn is based on the attacks he's taken from Bonnie. Bonnie stabbed him. Then he has a really big Falcon Punch coming in from Kuma that's sending him into buildings. So people are looking at that and saying, well, if Kuma's damaged, damaging you, then there's no way you should be in the Yonko type conversation. Then you're even looking at Gear 5 Luffy, throwing him around like he's a frisbee, playing around with him, and it is making people think that Saturn is low tier. It's making people think that Saturn is sweet, and he's not sweet, y'all. I'm trying to tell y'all right now, Saturn is a problem, and you have to understand why. And listen, this is something that I've said on many occasions, and I'm here to double down. When I look at the Gorosei, I think of Majin Buu from Dragon Ball Z, a character and a villain that was so terrifying, not because you couldn't damage him. Majin Buu was always getting damaged, but it was the fact that he can make a full 100% recovery, just regenerate and keep going. There was not a way to take him down for the most part because he kept on regenerating over and over and over again. And where that becomes a problem is when it comes to a battle of attrition, you are getting tired, but your opponent is not. That is how it looks like Saturn's game plan is. He's there to literally work his opponents down while he stays at 100% recovery. Now, some of you guys may be saying, well, I mean, that sounds nice, but that doesn't really make him that strong, right? Because he doesn't have any of these great abilities. You're wrong. Saturn can literally just look at you and stop you from moving. Look at you and pop your head off. We literally saw him look at some of the Marines in the surrounding area and literally pick them off like they were flies just by looking at them. Then you have him literally stopping Sanji from moving. Sanji, a character that got such a huge power boost in Wano that we were looking at Sanji as literally being relative to Zoro. There's a lot of people that have Sanji and Zoro in the same breath right now based on the power up that Sanji has gotten in Wano. The German genes going crazy, the exoskeleton. Literally, Sanji is so fast that even Queen couldn't perceive him. And this is somebody that Saint Saturn said, don't move while I look at you. And that was it. That's all it took. That is a credit to his power. That is not to lowball and downplay Sanji. That scene was literally used to show us how powerful Saturn is. Yes, he takes damage. Yes, Bonnie stabbed him in the neck, but all of those things did not matter because why? He is Majin Buu of One Piece. He can literally just regenerate, just like the other 4 Gorosei members. They can all regenerate. So defense is not their strong suit because they don't care for defense. They can just recover. And did I forget to mention the haki? Saint Saturn's haki is out of this world because even Bonnie was not able to use her aging techniques on him. Now, you could even point to that maybe being due to his immortality because right now it's looking like the Gorosei are immortal. And that may be the case because when we look at Saint Saturn back in the day, he was there at God Valley and he looks the exact same at Egghead as he did at God Valley. Does not look like his age changed at all. This obviously has led to many theories in the One Piece community that the immortality surgery was performed on all of the 5 Gorosei. Something like that may have happened. We don't know for sure. There's also the theory that the 5 Gorosei are just satellites for Imu. We don't really know everything, but what it does highlight is right now the Gorosei look like there's nothing you can do to damage them. Per Luffy's words, Luffy has stated this in Gear 5. So we have the incredible haki, we have the fact that he was able to stop Sanji, but then did I also forget to mention that he can use poison? I mean, he could actually make giant poison blasts, and the poison is so powerful that it was able to disintegrate a whole tree. Saturn is not to be messed with. Saturn can even fly. What can this man not do? What can he not do? And he's also incredibly intelligent because he's the head of science. That awakened Gyuki mythical Zoan devil fruit is just something different, y'all. And I have a feeling that we did not even get to see everything that it has to offer yet. Saint Saturn definitely has to stay at number 3 for me until we see more from the others. Coming in at number 2, we have the head of justice, Saint Topman Warcury. He is elite, y'all. This member of the 5 elders right here is one of the most formidable that we've seen in all of One Piece just because of the toughness and the brute strength that his devil fruit literally shows us. I mean, from the moment he touches down and transforms into that giant boar, even giants like Dory and Bragi are having an issue landing an attack or even protecting themselves from him. Y'all, listen, Warcury had a conqueror's haki roar that literally shook Egghead, had giants not even knowing what's going on. They're confused. Luffy is getting hit. You have Marines passing out all across the land, and that's just from him yelling. That's it. His Conqueror's Haki roar made what Big Mom did at her wedding look light. I don't think you guys understand the level of haki that the Gorosei possess. Warcury can also turn his tusks into blades. That was the technique that he used against Dory and Bragi, the same Dory and Bragi that helped one-shot all of Captain Kidd's crew. But what's most impressive to me from Warcury, which actually is the reason why I have him at number 2, is Luffy used Red Rock against Kaido, and we already know what that did to him. We do know that the reroll technique is used, so haki is literally projecting from Luffy's body once he lands the attack on you. That's how powerful Red Rock is. But when he used it against Warcury, it had no effect. As a matter of fact, it actually ended up hurting Luffy's hand because Warcury's skin is that tough. Yes, Kaido's skin is tough. It is almost impossible to scar Kaido. It's almost impossible to land an attack on Kaido. And Luffy was able to damage Kaido, but not Warcury. So then Luffy says, you know what? Let's take it up a notch. Let's go to Gear 5 and attacks Warcury, and Warcury still feels nothing. And guess who gets hurt? Luffy again. Luffy gets hurt from fighting Warcury every time he tries to punch him because of the toughness, because of the haki, because of how sturdy that boar devil fruit is. And we saw what Luffy did to Kaido in Gear 5. He literally was able to grab Kaido, change the properties of his body, and jump rope with him, throw him around, do all of these things. When Luffy's in Gear 5 against Warcury, Warcury is not changing, y'all. He's standing still. He's standing on business. He's not changing at all. This is somebody that a lot of the One Piece community is saying is part of the old man 5 and he can't get busy. But why does it look like Luffy's attacks are ineffective against him and were effective against Kaido? I don't think we understand how powerful the Gorosei are. Again, yes, they take damage, but they move this way because they know that they can just recover. If there's ever a situation, and this is just my own headcanon, this is my own theory, if there's ever a situation where the Gorosei look like their immortality has been turned off for whatever reason, then I feel like we would get to see top tier defense from the Gorosei. But I feel like they're moving this way now because they know they can't get hurt. They know they're gonna recover. But out of all the Gorosei members so far, Warcury looks like he has the best defense. It looks like there's nothing you can do to really damage him. They need higher levels of haki, it looks like, in order to really damage Warcury. If Dory and Bragi aren't doing it, if Gear 5 Luffy is not doing it, they gotta run. Point blank period. Or somebody has to pull up. Maybe Dragon, who knows? Which leaves Saint Ethanbaron V Nusjuro at number 1 for the strongest Gorosei member. For me, we know that he has a legendary blade. We've seen it for the longest time. Everybody has always speculated that the Gorosei could fight based on his character alone because he had a sword. But as the head of finance in the One Piece world, I feel like there's no other person better fit than Saint Ethan because of how he portrays himself and because of how he moves. We know that his Devil Fruit ability essentially turns him into kind of like a centaur that gives him the abilities to actually use ice, and he can move super fast. But forget all of that. I'm gonna say something right now that may be controversial, but I don't think it should be. One Piece fans for the longest time have always debated the swordsman topic because of how Oda has portrayed swordsmen in the One Piece world. Obviously, Mihawk has the title of the world's strongest swordsman, but you see characters like Roger wielding a sword. You see characters like Rayleigh wielding a sword. Shanks and Mihawk have clashed before and no winner was ever declared, but since Mihawk was given the title, it has caused a clash between the community. People are debating haki techniques going up against swordsmanship techniques. People are looking at Zoro. The Zoro fandom has been going crazy lately, looking for any opportunity to push Zoro up. But as I've said for the longest time, there are other characters in the One Piece world who wield swords that have not had a chance to show out yet. I've said Garling is in that conversation, and Saint Ethanbaron V Nusjuro was also in that conversation as well. And we actually got to see a little sneak peek of what he's capable of. And what did we see, guys? Saint Ethan cut through the Labo phase in Egghead, literally just sliced it so easily, had Cypher Pole members falling from the sky, had people dropping out of the lab, everybody's crashing down to the ground, and he made that look like it was nothing. I'm telling you right now, guys, Saint Ethanbaron currently holds the best sword feat in One Piece thus far. I'm saying this as a Shanks fan, that is arguably the greatest sword feat we've seen in the series thus far. The Giants look at Saint Ethan and say, yo, he can cut anything. Mihawk fans, the same people that said, oh, Mihawk should have been able to cut Diamond Jozu, he just didn't intend to cut him because he was trying to cut Whitebeard, who's even stronger than Jozu, that's the only reason, whatever. Saint Ethan, based on how the Giants are talking about Saint Ethan, there should be no questions on whether Saint Ethan can get the job done against Diamond Jones. I'm saying all of that to say this. Do not sleep on the Gorosei, and definitely do not sleep on my #1 strongest right now out of the Gorosei, because I believe he's one of the strongest sword characters in this series. Yes, it looks like Zoro and him are about to clash in Egghead, but I personally believe Zoro does not have a chance against him. So we will get to see a little bit more from that. But even if Zoro has been getting a lot better, and maybe end of series Zoro will surpass him, right now, based on what I just saw, him cutting through the whole Labo phase easily, I don't think Zoro is ready right now. And people like Mihawk and Shanks and Garling and others will have to be on the lookout for somebody like this. Obviously, Garling is on their team, but I'm just talking about for that world's strongest swordsman title. If there's a competition out there and people instantly write off Saint Ethan because they think he's weak, I'm telling you right now, you're wrong. Mihawk has to look out. Shanks has to look out. Listen, Saint Ethan was just slicing through pacifistas, no difficulty. It didn't even matter. And these are the strongest forms of the pacifistas outside of the Seraphims, y'all. And he's just slicing through them, no difficulty. He is elite. I'm telling y'all. But you guys let me know down in the comment section below how you would rank the Gorosei right now. Obviously, Egghead isn't finished and we're going to get to see more. So this ranking is not fully concrete, but it's just a little bit of a rough estimate. I still think all of them are extremely formidable, even if I have one at 5 and one at 1. If they fight each other, I still believe it will be a high diff to extreme diff type of battle. And with that, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.